Right, so I've stripped all the velvet off these stags now, so they're all fully cleaned up, and as you can see they're all very white. So I'm going to use a product called Potassium Permanganate, KMNO4. KMNO4. Potassium Permanganate. Just going to mix that up and brush it onto the antlers, and it will stain them up really nicely in a natural wooden stain. So yeah, we'll have a crack at that. You can get potassium permanganate at a garden centre such as Odorings or the like. You just mix a small amount in with some water. I've actually mixed in way too much in this video, but it still did the trick. Potassium permanganate is used as a steriliser in laboratories and things like that, and it's also used in nurseries to soak plants' roots and to protect against diseases of plants. It's not particularly toxic, but I thought I'd put some gloves on because it stains everything, stains your hands and everything pretty badly. Quite amazing substance, the way that antlers can soak it up, and just brush it on liberally and it will eventually soak up the stain. It's purple to start with. As long as you're getting a reasonable coverage of purple stuff, it will eventually brown off. It makes a really natural stain. Try to get a good coverage over all the beaded parts of the antlers, but avoid putting it on the antler tips where naturally they'd be whitened. So keep it off those antler tips. If you spill a bit on there, it won't matter, we'll be able to fix that up later. And just get an all-round good coverage. Righty, that's that one about stained now. I'll go and sit it in the sun for a while, and then we'll work on the other one. Bloody good. I was a bit of a silly bugger when I did that last one because I spilt a lot of the stain on the skull, and I guess I've learnt a lesson here. You could throw a plastic bag over the skull. Smart move. Hey, I'm not a professional. Just trying these things. There we go. That'll be a bit better. Won't make such a mess this time. Okay, so the potassium permanganate staining is all done and it's all dried. Well, it's mostly dry now. Now that I've made such a mess of the skull, I'm going to have to scrape that all off with some sandpaper. So, hop into it. Okay, so now that I've got the skull almost clean, it's looking a bit better, I'm going to whiten up the skull with some H2O2, hydrogen peroxide, or peroxide as it's commonly known. H2O2, peroxide. Where did that stuff go? And once I've covered it up in hydrogen peroxide, I'll just chuck it out in the sun to dry off for half an hour, and it will help to whiten up the skull. I'm just going to give that a quick brush down to remove any remaining dried potassium permanganate, so when you take it inside it doesn't drop on the floor and react with the moisture and stain your floor. So just knock that off. Now for the very final touch, I'm just going to whiten up the points with a bit of sandpaper, remove any stray permanganate, and just get a nice white finish. So whitening up the points, so just getting one last final job to do. and that is to just use a sandpaper all over the antlers just to whiten up the tops of the purling. So the tops of the purling when the stag normally worn. Just with a quick brush with some sandpaper just to take the edge off it. And there you have it. We turned a stripped velvety white antlered stag into a nicely stained up stag. So I've just cut up a piece of recycled green moon and made it into a shield shape, and now I'm just going to tie the head on there for now. I'm just going to drill a couple of wee holes and screw it on in place. A bit rough, but I'm just using what I've got available, so yeah. Taxidermy will cringe at this. So there we go. Not too rough anyway. It's good enough for a country job.